Hello guys, Marvin and Kid here coming to you again. How's everybody doing out there? Uh, Back again with another comic review for you guys. This was a pretty solid week once again. Um, show some love and respect to, of course, my mentor Blue Goblin. Always check out his stuff. Also, much love and respect to my fellow Dark Avenger Inc. family. Yeah. Uh, so some love and respect to them as well. Check out their channels too. Uh, so in the in the Captain America mood, rocking the cap shirt. Um, there was one other question somebody wanted to ask. I forget who his name. Uh, I'm forgetting the person's name, but they wanted to ask me, "Where's Mr. Orpheus? Where's How come he's not introduced you?" As of right now, Mr. Orpheus is taking a break. He'll be back soon, very soon. Um, we made a deal now. He'll bring me in, introduce me 3 times, in the review. So, Mr. Orpheus will be back soon. But like I said, once again, it was a solid week. Pretty solid week. I've got about a good share of books for you guys to cover. Uh, a few from, not too many from DC. About four, four Dynamite, four, four Independent, and the rest ended with Marvel. All right, so let's get started, Joe. Yeah. All right, so we'll kick it off in DC. As always, still kicking it there, and start off with the first tie-in for Death in the Family. We still this story arc has been running around pretty good, and we're kicking it off with Batgirl. Batgirl, number, was it 16? Yep, 16. That is a disturbing and eerie cover. I think a lot of people have been saying that, but it's ill though. Gail Simone, Lady Simone does a very good job on the book, no question about it. Ed Ben's artwork is superb at best. Uh, the basic situation of the book, simple, is what's Barbara gonna do? What's Babs gonna do? What is she going to do? Um, Joker is talking about marrying her, and she has to go through it, or her mom will die. And throughout her head, Barbara is trying to figure out, what can I do? How do I get myself out of this situation? And then a new player, or a kind of you could say a new somebody enters the fray. Not going to spoil who that was, but let's just say it was kind of a shocker to Babs, and it was a shocker, not too much of a shocker to Joker, but it was more of a shocker to Babs. Like, she's like eyes open, like, what? But without spoiling too much for you, still was good. And of course, there's this dish that Joker has that's playing a lot in the two books that involve this story on Death in the Family, and we have clues of who it may be, but still, Batgirl, number 16, good stuff. All right, and we move on to the next book, Batman, number 16, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, good stuff. That is even a more eerier cover. Check that cover out. So in this story, Batman is, you can kind of say, at the mercy of the Joker. He doesn't know kind of where he is. He's somewhere, and Joker's playing head games with him. But also playing head game with him, there are many of his rogues gallery involved, and we see Bruce just going through all of them. Till Joker comes off, and he's like, you're the king, you're supposed to be here, and everything like that. And he's saying all these things once again, and Bruce is like, don't let this guy get in your head. He's messing with your head, Bruce. Focus, 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 focus. Um, Joker has this mock court of Justice League members, fellow Justice League members. Bruce is not falling for it, and once again, just showing you how unpredictable this Joker is. He's showing that he's one up Bruce. He is one up him, and once again, without spoiling too much, again, Joker comes out with this serving dish, lid covered, and he's about to pull it off, but we don't know what it is. And it's like, what is it? What the hell is underneath that dish? But yeah, this was good. Greg Capullo is still doing Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo are still doing a very good job on this title. Like I said, it's gold, raining gold. Alright, so we move on to the final issue of Grifter. Yeah, another book that I was reading is ending. Grifter comes to an end. Number 16. The basis of this is Grifter finally being able to, he's getting really the 411 of who he is, basically. And let me just say, it has a lot to do with Hellspawn and the fact that he may have been created by Hellspawn. That's the sense. As well, this version of Grifter has. But it's more about Cole just like, look, I'm tired of being on the run. I need to have some time as Grifter, as Cole Cash, not just Grifter. And that's pretty much it. This is just a issue that just comes full circle with the character. But it does leave kind of on a cliffhanger of a sense of saying that Hellspawn's not done with Grifter, not by a long shot. Pretty much, that's about it. Yeah, it's sad to see Grifter end, you know, but at least they gave him 16 issues instead of 8. DC, screw you. Once you get this for Static, I'm sorry. Yeah. Alright, and the final DC book is Ravagers, number 8. Michael Allen Nelson takes over from Ian Churchill, and it cover basically, once again, you got Rose Wilson and Warblade. I just can't stand his look. It's disgusting. They're on the hunt. They're basically Warblade, Rose Wilson, and Warblade are tracking down this kid or so. We think they come to this small town in Colorado, and he literally implodes, basically blows up. But by him blowing up, he's infected the whole town. And Warblade and Rose here have to keep this town quarantined and make sure Harvest doesn't find out about it. And Warblade, the reason why I don't like Warblade in this, just comes off really sadistic and bloodthirsty. Like he's like, oh, if I don't kill somebody, I'm gonna. And that's what I don't like. I don't like this Warblade. This is not the Warblade that I liked reading the Wildcats. It's a totally different Warblade. But it just shows you, in a sense, Rose. You kind of see a little bit of character development with Rose in this, showing that she just doesn't go around killing people under the orders of Harvest, but there is a side to her that we don't see, and we see it in this issue. We also now, does the Ravagers, Fairchild, and all them come? Yeah, they at the end. But yeah, this issue was pretty much centered on Warblade and Rose Wilson. It was fine. The artwork was really good. Ig Gurara, I hope I'm butchering that name. He basically did the artwork. It was really good. All right. So we move on to Dynamite. A company that I've been saying for the longest. Get on board with something on Dynamite. I guarantee you, you'll love it. You want more proof? I'll give you one right now. Bionic Man, number 15. This is the end of the Sasquatch story arc that was going on. The last time we left it, Steve Austin, the Bionic Man, and Sasquatch are surrounded by more of Sasquatch, the Sasquatch that Steve is with, his race, and they've been turned into bionic creatures, along with the son of the Sasquatch that is with Steve Austin, and they fight. And that's pretty much the basis of that. But when Steve able to help and get back to OSI, they are like, you know, you direct a direct order, Colonel Steve Austin, you know, put that creature in lockdown. We're gonna study it, everything like that. And Steve realized this is BS. This is crap. You know, he's not the enemy. Let him go. Let his mate go, and everything like that. And they're more like, you know, so Steve is like, you know, I'm done with this. I'm done with this now. This, you guys are not, you know, the guy, one of his friends that is the head of it, he's yelling at him because of the fact that, you know, you're letting other people tell you what to do and how to think and everything like that. I'm through with you, and you all got all these walls blocking and everything like that. And Steve's just like, look, I quit. I'm done. There's no Colonel Steve Austin no more. I'm done. But he's able to free the Sasquatch and his mate, and they go off. However, they put they take this chip out of their cybernetic parts, so OSI can't track them, and that was pretty much it. But it was good nonetheless. The next issue is pretty much showcasing how Steve and Jamie Sombers, the Bionic Woman, how they broke up in a sense. But that is a nice cover by Alex Ross. Beautiful as always. But Bionic Man, good stuff. Can't go wrong. All right. So we're giving you. So now I'm taking you to the first in the original pulp character, probably one of the most famous. Been around for over 100 years before anybody else. Lord of the Jungle, number 11. So you all know what I'm talking about. Tarzan. I love the pulp characters. So, in this issue, first of all, that is a badass cover. Tarzan fighting. They always do some ill covers for Lord of the Jungle. In this issue, Tarzan is helping out the Waziri tribe, as well as Basuli and the Wasubi tribe against these French settlers who are looking for gold. Tarzan is still looking for the mystical golden city of Opar, but he ran into Basuli and his tribe, and they need his help. And Tarzan does help, but it kind of ends bad for the Waziri chieftain because his wife died, shot right in the head by one of the men, the French missionaries, mercenaries, excuse me. And but Tarzan makes him pay. Like, he just literally runs through them, no problem. As a matter of fact, let me just show you a little bit, just showing you why it is not proper to be the enemy of Tarzan. Basically, let's see. Let's see, where's it going? Alright. I'm trying to get you some points. Okay, here we go. Alright, here's Tarzan and the Waziri tribe. If you can see that. They're fighting. and you just see Tarzan at the bottom just crack this guy's neck, crack, and then stand over him, you know, with the oh, that's just good stuff right there. That was great. And of course, afterwards, Basuli becomes the new chieftain of the Waziri tribe, as well as they make Tarzan a part of the tribe now. They're like, Tarzan at 8, you are Waziri now. You are with us. And they also tell him where Opar is, in a sense. But it's not just that, because he has to get there first before Nicholas Rokoff get there, and Rokoff has Jane and Clayton. So it's looking good. But you know, it's going to be really good to see Jane reunite with Tarzan again, because Tarzan left because he loves her, but he knew that she deserves to be with somebody like John Clayton instead of him. But I think her heart is set on the 8-man himself. So yeah. All right. So we'll move on to Peter Cannon, Thunderbolt, number 5. That is another beautiful cover by Alex Ross. Like, look at that. That is just beautiful. In this issue, Peter meets, he's facing off against, in the streets of New York, he's facing this guy called the Inventor, who invented this mechanical dragon, and he's causing havoc around the town, around the city. And it's basically a good average story of basically heroes versus the bad guy, in a sense. That was the basis of it until the end, and then it gets really interesting from there, which, you know, it kind of, Peter, I don't want to spoil it, but let's just say he meets somebody, he meets, quote unquote, the first male to ever be created. So if anybody, you know the Bible and you know the biblical term, who was the first male? Yeah. So there you go. Interesting indeed. All right, so we move on to Valiant and Bloodshot, number 7. Dwayne Swazinski still doing a magnificent job, in my opinion, on this book. Very hard-hitting, very heavy, every issue. But in this issue, this is kind of a backstory of kind of this event that's coming up in a crossover between Bloodshot and Harbinger. I hope I'm saying that. It's called the Harbinger Wars. So this kind of showcases, in a sense, a teaser issue of that Bloodshot's met kids like that that have abilities like the people in Harbingers, and it was really interesting. And he also gives stories of who Bloodshot is, things like that, who was like following his missions, who was assigning him missions, things like that, and what Bloodshot really thinks he is. You know, he thinks he's a human. He thinks he with just magnificent abilities far beyond a human being. You know, things like that, and they just showcase how much they go through to keep this guy or this creation brainwashed and thinking that he's human and things like that. It was really intense. Like I said, Dwayne Straczynski still does a very good job, heavy hitting, you know, just good storytelling here, and just showing you how much Bloodshot can take. I mean, he can heal because of the nanites in his body. Like, he pretty much practically heal from anything. It's crazy. Alright, so that's all DC and independent. We're going to end this on Marvel, and that's pretty much the majority of it. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 Marvel books to cover for you. Alright, so we'll kick it off with all new X-Men. Number 6. Bendis. Imant is not on this. He's taking a break Marquez will be doing the artwork for a couple of issues, but Iman will be back. All right. Was this good? Once again, how many times I've been saying it? The consistency is still there. Bendis is doing a fantastic job on this issue. That is a very nice cover. You see Kitty sitting there, and whose shadow is behind her, Professor Xavier. And in a kind of sense, she kind of has that role now. So the issue basically kicks off with Jean having a dream. She wakes up, kind of a dream, then a nightmare. She wakes up, she literally knocks everything off in the room because of her telekinetic abilities. The room she was in was actually Kitty's. Kitty comes in, talking to her and everything like that, and Jean's like, were we friends? Are we friends? And she's like, yeah, I respected you, everything like that. Young Jean is all like, she's still reeling from everything she found out about. Find out that her entire family dies, how she dies, everything, and she's really messed up about that. But Kitty's there to help. She's there to help, and as well as Storm. Storm comes in to talk to her too, and she says that same thing. Were we friends? And Storm says, yes, we were the best of friends. And Jean still can't really control her telepathy, so sometimes she can enter somebody's mind without, things like that. Cyclops is having a bad day. Once again, young Cyclops. He walks into the cafeteria, and pretty much the whole room shuts down and looks at him. And he is just like, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to do that. And so what does he do? He does something that Wolverine did in the X-Men movies. Steal Wolverine. Instead of Wolverine stealing Cyclops' motorcycle, he stole Wolverine's motorcycle, and is basically he drives around the New Salem. Wolverine hears it, and he's like, mother. And he goes after him. Jean is still trying to control it. Kitty's helping, things like that, with her telepathy, telling her, you can control it. Minds are just coming at her, thoughts, and she's like, I can't control it. And Kitty's like, look, just listen to my voice, act like these are all doors, rooms, close those doors, and focus on my. And she does it, and it was great. It was like, look, it just shows that Kitty is a good leader, and just show you how much. Remember when Kitty was Sprite back in the days, and she was the little innocent, mutant on the team? Now look at her. She's now pretty much going to be leading them. And it also showcases that she's no longer going to be the head mistress of the school no more, to focus more on with the original 5. So that's interesting. But there's more into it as well. Warren finally gets to see his future self, and he's just like, first he's like, dude, where'd you get those metal wings from? Like, everything like that. And future Warren's like, so you're me from the past? He's like, yeah. Who did this? Beast, obviously. And Jean's here. Yep. And he's future Angel is like, grabbing him, hugging him up, bro hug. Oh, this is great, and everything like that. And Warren's just like, dude, you got to tell me, how did you get those metal wings? I don't know. But he's just like, come on, let's go flying, and things like that. So we enter Cyclops he goes into a store, and he's just like, okay, can I get a? Okay, he's asking all these questions like, why is the water all in bottles? Why is this happening? And the girl's like, where are you from? Like, but you look like him. And she shows young Cyclops a Rolling Stone magazine, and Cyclops is on the cover of it. And Cyclops is like, I'll take it. How much? That's $5 for a magazine plus tax. And he's like, this world's a nightmare. And he's looking in his pocket and pulls out money out, like a thick thing of money. And Wolverine just needed, and he's like, why does Wolverine carrying all this? And he's like, Wolverine comes up, like, that's none of your damn business. And so they kind of get into a little bit of a scuffle, and of course, there's also something that happens, and people photograph that, like camera it, and that camera goes into, that audio footage goes into, I mean that live footage basically goes to a mysterious benefactor, and he shows it off to someone from the X-Men's past that I don't want to mention. Let's just say she has two X-Men that are, two of her kids are X-Men. Let's just put it like that. Well, one of them, you know who you should know who it is. But it's good, and I can't wait to see what she's gonna be doing to screw with them. But other than that, it also looks like Jean is gonna be the leader now, like instead of Cyclops. So there's another twist, like whoa, because even Storm even says, like, Jean, you're the one that voted to stay, not Cyclops. You're the leader. So good stuff. So we move on to Miss Kelly Sue DeConnick and Stefano Castelli doing Avengers Assemble 11. The Avengers are still dealing with Yao Yu Shu Han, who is this bioterrorist who wants to create a form of warriors for himself and take over the world. They're still helping out an affected Hulk, who's been affected by the virus that Han subjected him to. Spider-Woman definitely plays a big role, and especially for, Hulk, because Spider-Woman has these pheromone powers that she can't really control. It just happens, and she's able to help calm Hulk down a little bit so he can fight through the virus. Because what he's seeing, they don't look the same. Like when he looks at Spider-Woman, she's all grotesque, and he just wants to pound her. But the pheromones kick in, and he's like, yeah, calm down, it's me, things like that. Hulk plays a big role in this. He helps a lot, and it was fine. It was fun. Kelly Sue is doing a very good job with this title, taking it over from Bendis as well. And there was still the bet that was going on in the last couple issues, and it turns out that Bruce and Tony lost the bet, so now they got to walk bare butt naked from the Avengers Tower to the Baxter Building and back. And so you got Tony and Hulk walking down the streets of New York City butt naked, and all the Avengers are watching it, and you got Wasp there, like, you guys set them up for this, right? He's like, yeah. And she's like, so Spider-Woman's trying to take a picture of it, and she's like, I can't. And Tony has a camera blocker, a program that is blocking everybody's camera, so the phone camera, so nobody can take pictures of it. Because Hulk's like, Hulk doesn't want to be on the interweb and things like that. It was kind of funny, and he's like, don't worry, pal, it won't happen. And so they're like, dang it, we can't get it. And then so you got Wolverine and Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, just sitting there eating popcorn. They're like, don't worry, we got it covered. And Spider-Man comes down and says, cheese, say cheese, and takes a picture and sells the picture to the Daily Bugle. It was really funny. I thought that was funny. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to let's move on to Captain America. This is issue number 3. Rick Remender and John Romita. Wow. Let's just put it like this. This issue, I've never seen Cap so wary, so wear down, literally almost on his last leg. He's still in Dimension Z. He's trying to protect the little boy Ian that he took from Arnim Zola's laboratory. he met some individuals, inhabitants of Dimension Z, and at first he's fighting them, but then he uses a interstellar, translator in his glove that Hank Pym created, and he's able to talk to them, and they realize that he's not that bad guy, and they help him, except for one of them. One of them is the leader of the group, is like, he doesn't trust him, and at pretty much by the end of the issue, he fights Steve again. And we also get some more backstory. Once again, we see Steve once again showing that why he sticks up for the little people, as well as that Steve's a good artist. He draws and things like that, and we see that. But I've never seen Steve so wearing down in this. By the end of the issue, something just incredible is like, oh, like, I can't believe Rick Remender, you did that. Like, where's this gonna lead now? Let me just say this. If you, matter of fact, I won't spoil it for you. Let's just say Armin Zola did something to Steve before he broke out of Armin Zola's control when he arrived in Dimension Z. But it's crazy, the end of that issue, and Romita's artwork is good. And it was just, they showcased that last panel. Just was like, I was just like, oh, I couldn't believe that. So let's move on to the other Captain Marvel, number 9, Miss Kelly Sue DeConnick, of course. Her writing, she still writes Captain Marvel great. The artwork, which is done by Andrade, I hope I'm saying that name right, that kind of threw me off. The storytelling is good, but the artwork threw me off. And basically, this is just the story, the life of Carol Danvers when she's got a plan set. Like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Got to take my cat to the vet. I got to do this. I got to meet Jessica, Spider-Woman, for coffee, things like that, which was fine. And also, and things just don't go as planned, but she does make it happen. But the bottom line is, the main focus as well is Carol's been having these bad headaches, and she keeps taking aspirins, and she's like, she's like, I've been having these headaches for a while, but I can cope with them. And then she goes to see her doctor, and her doctor tells her something in it that was just like, wow, okay, now this is interesting. Where's this going? Where's Mr. DeConnick going with this? The bottom line is, basically, Carol is grounded. She can't fly. And I don't mean she can't. The doctor just said, don't fly, because they found something in her, I think in her brain, that they don't know what it is, but she's basically, the doctor literally said, you're a ticking time bomb. So I'm like, whoa, okay, this is interesting. But yeah, it was good, but it's just, the artwork was like, it was like, okay. Like, Carol's face was just really fat, and she had more like a baby kind of face and things like that. And, people just didn't look right to me. It's just kind of weird. I was just like, ugh, at best. Alright, so move on to Daredevil number 22, Mark Waid. I show love and respect to you, sir. As always, you're still masterful job at this issue. So Daredevil meets the Superior Spider-Man. Now, if you recall, if anybody who's reading Daredevil, we recall Karen, the district attorney that was friends with Matt, believed Foggy Nielsen about Matt losing his mind. So she thought Spider-Man, being a mutual friend of Matt's, good close friends, these two are very close, not this Spider-Man, but we all know the relationship between Spider-Man and Daredevil, he can go help. Now, we see a lot of things that, Matt, especially when he's going out, he talks about, how he's able to read, how he's able to read money, things like that, showcasing the typical thing with somebody with you know, with a person of the disability that Matt has, being blind, basically has to deal with in terms of money. And also he talks about how, you know, when he gets his chains back, how he has to trust, you know, trust the cashier or whoever to give the right change or not shortchange him because of his disability. But since his senses are really heightened, he can tell if you're faking it, you're not giving him change. However, it gets right from there. Spider-Man comes like, Daredevil surrender out in public, tells basically, because everybody still believes Matt is Daredevil, and they're right, but he goes around saying, I'm not Daredevil, and they kind of go at it for a while. And Matt's reading Spider-Man. He's reading his heartbeat, because that's pretty much how he knows who Peter Parker is. He's like, yeah, it is, you know, it is him. But wait a minute, there's a faint characteristic I've never seen from him. So it's showcasing Matt does know something is off about this Spider-Man. Like, this is not him, or he's like, why is he talking like that? He's not cracking jokes, everything like that. And after it stops because their attention goes to a return of Stiltman. Yeah, Stiltman returns, and I guess a new Stiltman, because if I remember, the first Stiltman got killed by Punisher. But he realizes that this Stiltman is totally different and using technology that was once of Otto Octavius, because Matt is telling this Superior Spider-Man, like, look, don't worry about it. He's all legs. Don't worry. And then all of a sudden, zoom, his arms extend. And he's like, yo, when was he able to do that? And, of course, Doc knows that technology anywhere. It was really funny when when he mentioned the technology about Otto Octavius, Matt was like, that fat piece of crap, that jelly belly, what's he got to do with this? And then Matt hears him grinding his teeth, and he's like, why are you grinding your teeth? You know, and things like that. But in the end, basically, it showcases that they're cool. But Matt does question after they stop Stiltman. He questions. He's like, okay, are we cool? He's like, yeah, we're good. But are we? No, I'm not just talking about that. Are we cool? Like, something's off about you. You want to talk about it? And he's like, no, no, I don't. So Matt suspects something as well, not just the X-Men, because I did read Avenging Spider-Man, and they're suspicious of him. Now Daredevil is too. The main thing as well is Foggy Nielsen, Matt's best friend, may have cancer, and that was another cliffhanger right there. And Foggy's scared. He doesn't know how to deal with this, and he's turning to Matt. He's like, can you help me? How do you overcome this? Which is a solid story, and it makes you wonder. It just makes me geared up more to figure out, what cancer does Foggy have? Is it true? Or maybe the doctors are just misreading it. And how Matt is going to deal with his good friend, Foggy Nielsen, having cancer. We don't know what it is. But the bottom line is, yes, Daredevil now is suspicious of Superior Spider-Man as well. Good stuff though. Wade still does a very good job. Let's move on to Indestructible Hulk. Getting used to saying that now. Indestructible Hulk. Number 3. Another Mark Waid book. Yeah. Still doing a good job. Lillian Yu does excellent artwork. Basically, Maria Hill is following up with, getting the info on Bruce Banner's lab assistants that he wants. She's kind of off about a lot of them because she all feels that they all have a hidden agenda. Bruce goes in to deal with the Quintronic Man here as the Hulk, and because he is a SHIELD agent, he has to do his part of the deal as well. Not as an agent, not as a spy, but as Maria Hill said it, WMD. It was fine. The fight scene was really good. And that was pretty much basically it. Maria does tell Bruce about the candidates for his lab assistants, and they may all have their hidden agenda. Bruce even knows it. He's like, yeah, I would assume they would. And then of course we finally get to see that robot that we saw those teasers of Hulk. You know, we kind of see it. His name is Rob, actually. I forgot what it stands for, but it's actually kind of funny. And he's like, no, absolutely not. This is absurd. The robot is going to monitor Bruce when he's not the Hulk and when he's Bruce Banner. So it actually is going to monitor him, and he's not happy about it. He even turns into the Hulk and breaks it, which is really funny. But it wasn't that bad, but I can't wait to see Bruce dealing with a tumor. A tumor. That's what I'm looking forward to. The Hulk and a tumor. But it's pretty much there. All right, so we move on to New Avengers #2. Jonathan Hickman, Stephen Eppening. Eppening's artwork is great. The bottom line is, in this issue, the Illuminati gets the full 411 on how supposedly the world is going to end and how they can probably stop it. And it seems that they need the Infinity Gems, you know, and of course the Gauntlet, which was really fun. The basis, the real part I really want to talk about is the word of basically what T'Challa says to Namor, which was like, oh yeah, like, and I'm gonna show it off too, because it was well done of how he did it. Some of his people are questioning, you know, T'Challa, like, you know, if our people, the Queen, finds out that, you know, T'Challa's sister finds out that, you know, he's here, we're gonna be in trouble. You know, I fear, you know, his blood on his hands. And, you know, he's based, don't worry about that, just, it'll be okay. And, you know, Namor is kind of poking fun of it. You know, he's kind of like poking the bear, like, yeah, you know, it's kind of odd that, you know, I'm here and I did this and everything like that, but you need me. And T'Challa's just going over the rules, like, you don't leave Necropocalypse, you don't enter the city, nobody sees you. If people do see you, you say nothing to them. You don't do nothing. You follow the rules. And of course, Namor kind of gives like a smile, like, yeah, of course, you know. But it was what T'Challa said afterwards, which is really good down here. He said something that was really, and you best believe T'Challa probably could go through with it too. He says, then he's basically, after Namor says, "Of course, I'll follow the rule," T'Challa says, "Okay, then it's time to join the others. But one last thing, you have the blood of my people on your hands. So when this is done, when my wants have replaced my needs, I'm going to kill you." And once again, T'Challa, I think, could pull it off. One of the most smartest men in the Marvel Universe. You know, he probably could. He probably could find a way of killing Namor. And that's pretty much it. That's the basis of it. One of my funniest things is, once again, just showing you how powerful, you know, if all those who don't know who Black Bolt is, you know, just showing you how powerful Black Bolt, you know, his voice is, you know, what he can do. I mean, here he's talking, he kind of whispers really softly while they're in the room. He says something here, right, and the whole room shakes like an earthquake. Rumble, 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 rumble. Like he can't even whisper without causing a problem. But that's basically the basis of the book, is just they need to buy some time. They know how much time they have until the world comes to an end. And once again, you know, Hickman is just setting up something to come. And I will enjoy the ride of this. Alright. So moving on to Savage Wolverine #1. All done by Frank Cho. Writing and artwork. I enjoy Frank Cho's artwork. The basis of this is simple. A research expedition team of S.H.I.E.L.D. is with Shauna, the She-Devil, was assigned to, map out uncharted parts of the Savage Land. Their ship goes, their plane goes down, and Shauna and the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents are stranded on this island that is kind of the forbidden in a sense. Wolverine enters the fray with no memory of how he got there. We think he may have fell out of the sky, but he doesn't know how he got there. He wakes up and he's looking around. He's like, oh my God. He's like, okay, where am I? I can't remember. I don't know, where am I? Wait, getting a swim out. He's like, okay, damp, humid, smells like a rainforest. Then a velociraptor comes at him, and he's like, first he says it smells like the Savage Land, and then the raptor comes at him, and he stabs the raptor, and he's like, yep, definitely the Savage Land. And of course he helps out some of the S.H.I.E.L.D. And then he runs into Shauna, and Shauna is happy to see him and everything like that, and she gives him the intel on what went down and everything like that, and okay, we got to get out of here. Shauna's telling them we can't really leave the island. Every time we try to leave, something bad happens, and how a lot of the men have died. There's a group of mer people that surround the island, won't let them leave, and even if they do get out, there's all these, prehistoric marine animals out there that's ready to just chomp down on them, and that's pretty much, we saw that. And of course, this dangerous tribe. So other than that, it was fine. It was really good. I'm really interested in seeing how this partnership between Shauna and Wolverine, because Shauna, she's a tough cookie. She could take care of herself. We all know that. She's jungle bred up. She knows how to deal with this stuff. But, and she's showcasing the Wolverine. I don't need a knight in shining armor. But Wolverine's like, even there was a time where, Shauna's like, why'd you help me? I knew that was there. And he's like, yeah, darling, I got it. But, you need my help and everything like that. But it does make you wonder where this is going to go and where Frank Cho is going with this. But for the first issue, I was very much entertained. I enjoyed what I read very much. Like I said, his artwork, Frank Cho's artwork, is good, and like I said, he wrote it. It was all good, very good. All right, so we move on to Venom #30. First of all, that's another nice cover. Look at Venom eating a Philly cheesesteak. That's where you get the best Philly cheesesteaks. You all know that. And he's still dealing with the UFOs, but Venom, Eddie ain't home. I mean, Flash ain't home. It seems that the symbiote fully took over, and he's dealing with the UFOs. And just the fight scenes in this panels are just really good. The UFO is just like, what does it take to kill this guy? Like, everything like that. And, Valkyrie's doing her part as well. It was just showcasing what the symbiote is capable of. And it was just like, or was it something more than just a symbiote? Because Flash goes into detail about that as well. But this was just action-packed. Action-packed indeed. Basically, Flash comes to grips that, yeah, okay, I'm in Philly. Time to make a new fresh start in Philadelphia, which was fine. But then it's the ending that kind of showcases what's to come soon, which has to do with the former host of the Venom symbiote and the symbiote that he's carrying now. But yeah, Venom #30, good stuff. Nice cover too, right? All right, and last but not least, the first part of Hell on Earth War, X Factor number 250. Peter David, he's getting well. As you all know, Mr. Peter David suffered a stroke not too long ago, but I've been keeping up with him on Twitter and things like that. He seems to be doing very okay. His health is steadily declining. That's good to know. The basis of this is, it's basically all about Ronnie, Wolfsbane's son, and Darwin is still after trying to kill him, and there are some other key players involved in it and dealing with that. So Ronnie, of course, goes back to her friends to get some help, and Darwin follows. Does Darwin kill Ronnie's son? No, he doesn't. He can't go through it. He can't do it. Then enters some new players. Jezebel, the daughter of Mephisto, and believe it or not, old member of the team that left not too long ago. And I'm not going to spoil who that was, but if you read X Factor, you should know who I'm talking about. You might know who I'm talking about. And it's just they keep saying the same thing. We got to kill Ronnie's, Wolfsbane's son. And they're like, it's too late. And then you see showcase Mephisto, Hela, I think Satana, people like that, and they're all like, okay, let's get this war on, things like It was just good. You got to read it. I've always said, jump on X Factor. You won't be disappointed. Peter David still does a good job at storytelling. Cliffhanger was very much big. Just good stuff, pretty much. All right. So, I hope you guys are still with me on this review. So, you guys tell me what you picked up as well. That's all I have for this week. Next week, guys, my comic review will be late. I definitely will be late with that. I'm gonna be really busy next week in terms of reviewing. So I won't be able to put up my review maybe till late the following week for the books that come out next week. Really looking forward to a lot of the books. That'll be, like I said, the third week of the month is always when the big list is usually when your pull list. Well, my pull list is always big. But I will be back. But my comic review won't be up till late. Books that I'm looking forward to that'll come out next week, of course, is Uncanny X-Force, definitely. Young Avengers. Young Avengers comes out as well. So basically, those are some of the new stuff that are coming out next week. But other than that, it was. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I know I've talked too much. But I'll see you guys later, as always. And this is Marvin and Kid saying peace, love, stay tuned, keep it real, guys, as always. Follow me, Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook. You can catch me on Dark Avenger Inc. Plus. I'm on there as well. You can follow me anywhere you can. And I will see you guys soon. Ta-ta for now. And take care.